In these axioms of reality, you must know what base components are powering this system of reality. You must be a strong person mentally and just in this realm, period, to be able to create your own axiom of reality. In fact, you would have to have a certain amount of autonomy and individual thought pattern that you've propagated and that you've cured and that you've fed. Because you see, we feed in all of these realms. The matrix is nothing more than a created axiom of reality. Like, I need you to get that. The matrix is nothing more than an axiom of reality that was created and given to you, telling you what is real and what is not real, and giving you a false perception of good and evil. What powers the axioms in the matrix is not only your continued awareness energy, but your suffering. They do this by hypnosis or artificial hypnosis through pain and reward systems that perpetuate points of reality in our perception of good and evil that we have become agents of. It's not to control reality in its entirety. You see, because that would be impossible, because you are not independent of anything in this reality, anything in existence. So you must understand the axiom of the matrix. In these axioms of reality, you must know what base components are powering this system of reality. It's what's real and what's not real. What you perceive as real and unreal is what they are controlling. What you perceive as real and unreal is your axiom of reality. But it's not just that, it's also your perception of good and evil. So the two things powering an axiom of reality for a conscious being is our core nature, for one, and for two, it's our perception of that nature, good and evil. There could never be full autonomy, but I do believe some beings are truly ready to create their own axiom of reality. Some beings are really, really conscious, and they actually would have a great axiom of reality to present to the world. Because this is you. This is who you are. This is actually your unique frequency. It doesn't take anybody super smart or super intelligent to create a new axiom of reality or your own axiom of reality. It's in your innate nature to know how to do this. This is why the things powering the axioms in the reality are based off of your core nature and your perception of that nature. So it's like having the innate nature of knowing what is wrong and what is right, i.e. good and evil. It's having an understanding of our core nature, that we are manipulating life force energy, the use or misuse of life force energy, which bursts all patterns of good and evil, light and dark, all emergence in all of these quasi realms that we will navigate. So since you are not fully independent of all realities, you cannot control all realities. So we are being very realistic here. But this is going to essentially tell you how to free your life force energy from low vibrational manipulation so that you can have the energy to create your own axiom of reality. Like, no one knows how to create their own axiom of reality, so many axioms of reality are being given to people. Random axioms of reality that people are accepting because they don't know how to create their own reality. Who is stopping you from creating your own axiom of reality? And think about it. If you have set up the matrix and set up this unnatural template or this unnatural axiom of reality for the mass of conscious beings, then the last thing that you would want is for those conscious beings to create their own axioms of reality. It's like having a slave. And I have a slave in my house. That's really weird to imagine, actually, but I have a slave in my house. All of a sudden, this slave realizes that he can create his own axiom of reality. He decides what is real. He decides what is not real. That would pose a threat to the current axiom of reality. So this is how you're going to free yourself. A man who is filled with knowledge, a man or woman who is filled with knowledge and has obtained knowledge is unfit to be a slave. And a lot of these people, I've listened to intelligent people having conversations about this being a hell realm, about life truly being meaningless. Which is true. It is meaningless. But they have found themselves in the dream complaining. They've literally found themselves in the dream actually adding on to nonsense. As if there isn't enough nonsense already. But the fact that life is meaningless is essential to know. It is actually the first step in realization of the only space that you have to create your own axiom of reality. Humanity as a collective has proven to be incapable of forming new axioms of reality of our own that empower us as humanity instead of enslaving us as a human race on a multidimensional scale. That brings me to sub-realities and quasi-realms. I want you guys to notice how slavery went away in the physical realm. But I want you to understand quasi-realms because now we find ourselves in 2024. Grown men and grown women, supposedly conscious beings, but we found ourselves in psychological slavery. Like we have allowed ourselves to be trapped in realms with different laws and different axioms of reality that we've accepted. There are things beyond gnosis and knowledge. Because of the unnatural artificial hypnosis and pain and reward systems that perpetuate points of reality and our perception of good and evil that we've become agents of, it is important to break that artificial hypnosis, and nature seems to be the only thing that I can do it. I'll just stare at nature and hypnotize myself because at our core nature, we are meant to be hypnotized. We are meant to be on a certain frequencies. We are not just meant to work independently. As soon as we look at something, we are communicating with it. Since old axioms are falling and crumbling, like the Matrix, then people don't know where to run to. They don't know what to accept as real, what to accept as not real. They gave us stories about aliens and Anunnaki to continue to just up the story one level. Okay, first we had the Bible, but now you give us ancient texts that are just like a bit deeper than the Bible, basically. So people don't know what to accept. They haven't really decided what is going to be real in their dream and what is not going to be real and of high importance to in their dream. They have not actually established their own individual thought pattern enough to decide on the forces of good and evil that dwell within them. Who can tell you that you can't create your own axiom of reality? But you are seeing it. Synchronic causality is depicted. Life force, energy, mind, body. 4 quadrants of each reality. These are the only 2 realities that you can create, or manipulate. Another level down is 4 more quadrants of each sub-reality that we perceive. So you'll see here the common point of intersection for each reality is you, your egoic perception. So the world does revolve around you. And wherever your awareness is within these quadrants of reality is like your beam of light. And whenever your awareness is so far onto one, like inner individual, you're worried about how you feel. So things get depressing. Way too much. These other realities aren't balanced out. You're not accessing your full potential. All other quadrants almost fail to exist and dim out to a point to where they almost fail to exist. And what's real in another world is not real in another quasi-realm. As you could see in the movie Coraline. Wherever your beam of awareness is the crux of your existence. Wherever your beam of awareness is the crux of your existence. It can be anywhere in these realities. Outer collective, you could be worried about wars. And it can truly pain you. Dude, the beam of life force energy awareness is the crux of your existence. And from a centralized viewpoint of your egoic perception, the world does revolve around you. Who can stop you from creating your own axiom of reality? And the answer is no one. You can be so damn conscious that you have so many ties linked together, but there could just be one thing that you are not aware of. One thing that changes the entire reality. He's actually, along with me, and I know no others, telling you how to create your own axiom of reality. But people are afraid. He says, imagine if you woke up from a dream, but you were a coward in that dream. Like you actually didn't stand up or have courage in the dream how you should have. But even if you were dreaming, wouldn't you be like, man, I should have did something. I should have took control of my life. I should have decided what was real. Because you know you shouldn't seek permanence in any of these realms. Otherwise you actually cause torture to the human soul or torture to human consciousness by going in cycles of endless genealogies. You're getting too wrapped up into one of the quadrants. I love y'all. Stay dreaming.